Hello everyone. So I just tried to make this kind of a perspective, I guess, kind of drawing or like a optical illusion type drawing. These are kinds of drawings that I always used to do when I was younger. And I did so many of them, and I used to like to shade in each section different colors. So I thought, why not try to make it into a sewing project? So hopefully you will enjoy it and have a go. So I started with a A4 piece of card, and I drew a round circle in each corner. And then I just drew, well, I like to think of them as suns, and I drew rays coming out of each one. So just straight lines drawn out of each circle. And then I numbered them. Of course, very important to know which bit goes where, and then cut them all out, and then chose my color scheme. So I decided to make it black and white, and the sun's yellow and orange to make them stand out. So after putting the numbers, I also put B and W for black and white to show that which piece needed what color. And then, just like normal English paper piecing, I put each piece on a piece of fabric. Make sure that then you turn the piece around if you're using the back of the fabric. In my other videos, I show a little bit more how to do that, and the links are below. And then I basted each of the pieces, and there's going to be a little video on how to baste these pieces, and especially the curved parts. Hope you enjoy! Alright, not gone. Okay, so I've just pulled it through, and I'm just going to go do another little stitch to hold that corner in place. Kind of a little securing stitch. And now we're going to baste around the curve so that we have a nice curve on the other side. Now if you were glue basting, you put your glue around the paper and you'd start to squeeze around, and you see you'd get those folds if you were gluing. But I do prefer to baste with thread. Don't know why. Well, I tried the glue and I just get glue all over the place, and I just don't enjoy it as much, and I feel like the edge also gets really tight for me for the sewing, so I do prefer to do it nice and easy and slow. Alright, so we're going to do a running stitch along the edge. Alright, so just a little running stitch, little stitches, not too big, and just a few stitches. Alright, so just some running stitches along the edge, and then I prefer to hold the fabric down a bit to remind myself not to pull too tight, and then I pull the needle through, nice and gentle. And then I pull it down a little bit, and you can see that fabric is gathering. And you can see on the other side, it's making that nice curved edge. So I hold on to it, and I put a little securing stitch through. So I stitch through the paper, through the fabric to the other side. And then I come back out. Pretty close, but just a little ways away. Alright, and then I do the same. Just some little running stitches. I do kind of 2 or 3. You could do more. I kind of feel comfortable with just 2 or 3. And I pull it through. Nice and gentle. And I pull it through, and then I pull it down a little bit, put my thumb there to secure it, and I can see it's making that nice curve there. And there's my security stitch from before. So I'm holding that with my thumb, and just where I stopped my running stitch, I'm going to put a stitch through that fabric to the paper at the back. Watch your fingers, because I tend to get quite close with my fingers because I'm holding it there. And then pull it back through, just a little ways away, and you just keep doing them. And that's nicely secured now. That's not going to move. And you can see that nice curved edge happening, and your little security stitches there. Big enough that you can still, snip through fairly well when you're ready to release the paper. And you just keep going. little running stitches all the way along, just little stitches, then you pull it through. And again, you secure with your thumb and you do your security stitch. And coming back in. So you do that all the way around. Your running stitches all the way around. I'll show you when you get to the end how I secure the end. Okay, so I've kept going around that curve and you can see all my gathers there and a nice curved edge there. And now I've come to the end and I just fold over as usual. Still have that curve there and I go through the corner. It may seem like a lot of work to do this thread basting because in the end you're just going to take it out, but I do enjoy it. I generally watch something on TV and then I find it quite relaxing. And then just going to finish off this piece. So then I'm just going to fold over that straight edge and then just basting as usual to finish off the piece. And I just generally like to always fold my corners in the same directions. And sometimes I also fold over this corner like that, so that when you're sewing pieces together, you don't have anything sticking up. So I do try to sometimes squash that corner down, because if you're sewing pieces together, that can get pretty annoying. And then this seems okay. I think I can leave that. It doesn't, well, maybe not. Okay. And then because I know I'm going to be taking this out soon, after I sew it, I don't even do a knot. I'll just kind of have a little stitch there. And then do. And there is my rounded piece, ready for some English paper piecing, ready to be sewn together. So that's one of my corner sun pieces. Quite nice. I think that's going to look good with the black and white. We'll see. And that is how you baste a curved edge. So then you baste all your pieces. You can do thread basting or glue basting, whatever is more comfortable for you. Then you start to sew the pieces together like the normal English paper piecing way. I showed that in more detail in my other videos, the links below. And you're just careful where the edges meet up. So that's where I would take more particular attention to make sure those corners are meeting up properly to give that nice black and white effect. Hi everyone. So I've ironed everything. It's looking pretty good. Quite pleased with it so far. I'm going to put some borders on. So I've got my piece of border and I've ironed it over on this end and this end and this end by a bit more than 1/4 inch. And then I'm going to sew it over as if it's English paper piecing. I know that I could just put this edge on a piece of fabric and applique it, but I do like putting on the borders like this. The first time I tried it, I ironed over 1/4 inch this way, but I forgot this side, and so then when I turned it over, then I had a raw edge here for the next border. So I realized that you have to also fold it over 1/4 inch at the top. So that's really important to remember. So I've just got this piece of fabric for my border and I've laid it on top, matching it up. And I've done my 1/4 inch border. So it's pretty side to pretty side, just as if you were sewing it with a machine, but I'm going to hand sew it on over the edge, just like an English paper piecing stitch. I don't know, what is that called? Is that the whip stitch? And so I'm going to do that. So I'm going to start here, go all the way up, and I'll see you on the other side. Okay, so it's just basically stitching over as if you were joining two English paper piecing pieces, just to overstitch there. And sometimes I have a lot of trouble with black thread and black fabric, so then I need to use my magnifying lamp, which is very helpful so that I'm not straining my eyes. I'm already wearing reading glasses as well, but that magnifying lamp really helps me as well. So just stitching all the way along little stitches. So then for the border along the top, just the same thing, remembering to iron over your 1/4 of an inch border all the way along, and then stitching all the way along that seam line. So now I've done the top and bottom borders and the side borders. I've ironed it out nicely, just pressing, and now it's time to take the papers out. This can be a tricky process sometimes, so do take your time. I usually use my little scissors and my thread cutter, and just very carefully go through those stitches. Usually I do it from the back. I don't know why I was doing it from the front there, but usually I do it from the back so that if I accidentally go through the fabric, it's going along the seams. So usually I do the back, and just snip through those threads, pull them out carefully and gently, and remove those papers. Make sure all the papers are out. Better double check. Sometimes, my first ever project actually for English paper piecing, I did leave a paper in, and it really annoys me. So all papers out, and again a good pressing, making sure to check that all papers are out. Makes quite a mess. There's usually little bits of thread and things. And then there's the finished project. I'm quite happy with it. It was really nice to be able to do some drawings from when I was younger. I used to always love those kinds of perspective drawings, and I really enjoyed that. Enjoyed the black and white as well, even though the black thread is hard for me to see and the black fabric. But I gave it a go. So now I've got that panel with the borders, and I think I'm going to make it into a big zippy pouch. I'm not sure, or maybe a tote bag, but I've got so many tote bags already. Yeah, I think I might make like a little zippy pouch, or maybe even a little pillow. I'm not sure yet. I'm thinking about it. If you have any ideas, let me know in the comments. I hope you enjoyed my video. Please do subscribe and hit the like button, and I hope you give it a try. Bye!